Los Angeles Lakers. 4 free agents to sign with the mid-level exception. Right now, fans of the Los Angeles Lakers are patiently waiting to see if the NBA season can resume so the Lakers can finish what they started and have a chance to win championship number 17. Whether or not that is going to happen is unclear. What is clear, though, is that if the season is cancelled, it will not alter the Los Angeles Lakers' offseason plans, which should still be to make the team better than it was in 2019 in any way possible. The biggest narrative surrounding the Lakers heading into the offseason is Anthony Davis. Davis has a player option this offseason and will most likely opt out to sign a long-term deal. It seems fairly likely that he will return to Los Angeles. On top of that, the Lakers are going to look to add any assets they can, but with Davis's new contract, the team is not going to have a lot of flexibility cap-wise. Thus, things such as the veteran minimum and mid-level exception become super important. Both the veteran minimum and MLE allow the Lakers to go over the salary cap figure to sign talent. The Lakers are allowed 1 MLE signing this offseason. If they are a taxpayer, meaning they go over the $139 million luxury tax threshold, then the MLE will be worth roughly around $5.7 million in 2020. If they do not go over, then it will be worth $9.7 million. Teams can sign players for 1 season using the MLE or up to 4 seasons. Every season there is a 5% raise in salary. There are 4 free agents that stand out as potential mid-level exception signings for the Los Angeles Lakers. Players towards the end of their careers who are still worth more than the veteran minimum are perfect targets for the mid-level exception. Here are 4 free agents that make sense as MLE signings. Marc Gasol. Marc Gasol was once traded by the Los Angeles Lakers to the Memphis Grizzlies for his brother, Pau. We all know how that worked out, as Pau was the missing piece for the Lakers to win their 2 most recent championships, giving Kobe Bryant titles number 4 and 5. Now, over a decade after that trade, Marc may look to follow in his brother's footsteps and try and win a title with the Los Angeles Lakers. Gasol would not be as big of an impact player, but he would be a welcomed, seasoned addition who fits the Lakers' identity. Right now the Lakers have Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee at center, but Howard is a free agent after the season, and McGee has a player option. It is likely that McGee returns to the team and the Lakers very well could re-sign Howard, which probably would eliminate the possibility of Gasol. However, despite Howard playing great this season, Gasol is a better fit stylistically for the Lakers. Perhaps he could be Howard's replacement, or if McGee opts out of his deal, the Lakers could bring Gasol in alongside Howard. What makes Gasol a good fit at the center position is his ability to stretch the floor and shoot the 3. While he is not a high-output shooter, he is shooting over 40% from beyond the arc this season. He has already taken a reduced role in Toronto and has fared really well in it, so the Lakers do not have to worry much about him transitioning from an all-star to a role player. Gasol can essentially bring the exact same output as Howard or McGee, but has that added element of a 3-point shot, which is big, as it makes him usable in crunch time. Kyle Korver. Kyle Korver was an important bench shooter for the Cleveland Cavaliers during LeBron James' second tenure with the team, and I would not be shocked if the Los Angeles Lakers look to pair Korver up with LeBron James once more. While Korver is getting up there in age, he is still a very reliable 3-point shooter that could come off the bench and hit a few big swing threes in a playoff game. We see it every year. These are the types of players that can swing an entire series, and having a sharpshooter like Korver on the bench would be massive. Korver is shooting 41.5% from beyond the arc this season and is a career 42.9% 3-point shooter. He does not add much more to the team outside of that, but the Lakers would not need much more out of him. Now, you could make the case that Korver would be better off for the veteran minimum than the mid-level exception, as he will be turning 40 years old next March. There was also speculation that he was considering retirement before the 2019 to 2020 season, but a follow-up report claimed that Korver would play this season and potentially another. Korver would be a 1-year mid-level exception option, and the only reason he is not a veteran minimum signing is that there is going to be competition to sign him. Any contending team with a shot at the title should want to add his 3-point shooting to the bench, forcing the Lakers' hand with the MLE. Next is Jeff Teague. The problem with Rondo, though, is that he is not great off the ball and has Aaron Baines. Speaking of Alex Caruso and fan favorites, the Los Angeles Lakers could add another big NBA fan favorite this offseason via the likes of Aaron Baines. Baines is more than just a fan favorite, however, as he is someone who could be a difference maker on the Lakers. The reason he is the fourth and final player listed, though, is that the Lakers would have to have the same situation that we outlined in with Marc Gasol. Either Howard or McGee would have to be leaving Los Angeles, setting up a need at center for Baynes to potentially fill. I personally would rather have Gasol over Baynes as an MLE signing at center, but Baynes is not a bad option whatsoever. While Baynes has a lower three-point percentage than Gasol, 35.1%, he has blossomed this season into being more of a shooter than he ever has been in his career. Baynes is attempting 4 threes per game after averaging 0.1 threes per game in his first 5 seasons. Overall, Baynes is enjoying a bit of a breakout year for the Phoenix Suns. He is averaging 11.5 points and 5.6 rebounds per game in 22.2 minutes played per game, which would be right around what he would be playing if he joined the Lakers. Baynes is right in that sweet spot in terms of age for the MLE, as he turns 34 in December. However, the one thing that potentially could hold the Lakers back is that this is a one-year surge for Baynes. The team might not be willing to sign him to 3 to 4 years, whereas teams that are more desperate for talent might. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe and click the bell icon to get new video updates.